Ever wonder what would happen if you tried to make a movie that ripped off both Aliens and the Terminator and failed miserably? Well, wonder no more.
What do you think you're gonna do to me with that? It won't even scratch me.
Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're tackling one of the greatest Italian ripoffs ever, Bruno Mattei's Shocking Dark. Released in 1988, Shocking Dark reunites the unholy bad movie trinity of Bruno Mattei, Claudio Fragasso, and Rosella Drudi. Commissioned as a pastiche of two different James Cameron films, Terminator and Aliens, Shocking Dark is the kind of crass, low-budget knockoff that Italy was infamous for. And I love it for that. I mean, look at this poster. The film was eventually retitled as Terminator 2 in some markets, although Fragasso and Drudi blame producer Franco Gadenzi for that.
Questa era un'abitudine che il film era stato già venduto come Shocking Dark. Poi dopo hanno avuto l'idea di cambiare titolo e rifare una locandina nuova rivendendogli sempre lo stesso film, capito? Questo accadeva, ma noi, ci tengo a dirlo, i registi non c'entrano niente, in questo caso Bruno.
Drudi, for her part, admits to not being a fan of the film.
Mi è piaciuto, sono sincera.
But Fragasso takes a more mercenary approach to it.
Diciamo, c'è un'atmosfera di scenografia interessante.
Whether or not Shocking Dark is good is up for debate, but can it terminate its way to 5 barf bags? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's video is sponsored by patrons Lady Creepy Chan, Jonah Wilson, and Disco Doggy. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. And now, let's get bloody. Oh great, this is definitely a Bruno Mattei movie. We've basically faded in on stock footage from his last vacation. We even get terrible industrial film quality voiceover narration.
Venice, before the year 2000.
Bruno really held nothing back when making vacation videos.
The seaweed is killing the oxygen in the waters, and the putrid waters are corroding the foundations of the city.
Oh god, who swapped out Gore's An Inconvenient Truth with my copy of Shocking Dark?
This is Venice today.
Well, not really today. This is Venice in like 1989, but close enough. Sorry, we had to shut down Venice for remodeling, and all this smog looks like LA to me.
A giant toxic cloud has settled over the city and is slowly destroying every form of life.
I feel like this is a lot of voiceover exposition right at the top. And then it's time for the credits. Here's Geretta using a different name than normal. We last saw her in Demons trying on that weird mask. Good god, how many people are in this movie? I think they just listed all the people randomly wandering around the shot in Bruno's vacation video from earlier. Oh look, screenplay by Claude Anderson. Guessing that's supposed to be Clyde Anderson, aka Claudio Fragasso. It's this kind of attention to detail that makes these Mattei, Fragasso, Drudi productions so amazing. And makeup special effects by Franco Di Girolamo. God, that never gets old. I'm also starting to think the smog story angle is just to cover up the fact that Bruno Mattei shot all of this out of focus. Kinda like the first version of this video I shot. And directed by Vincent Dawn, or Bruno Mattei trying really hard to convince you he's not an Italian. Down at the Springfield nuclear plant, everything's running according to plan. Yep, everything's coming up Millhouse. It's nice that they basically can just watch Day of the Dead while they work. At any rate, I really like these new uniforms they're wearing down at the call center. Hi, did you know your car warranty is about to expire? And here's a taste of the kind of dialogue and acting you can expect from Shocking Dark.
Get Raffleson, quick!
I'm afraid that's impossible, sir.
What do you mean, impossible?
Impossible means it can't be done, sir. Shit, the cable's out again? That's the 3rd time this month. Damn you, Comcast. Back in the tunnels, these two have found Cheech and Chong's smoke room. And whatever this is. And in another tunnel, this guy walks right into a jump scare. Man, my lack of peripheral vision is really gonna be my downfall someday. Jesus, look at this acting. Shocking Dark was robbed at the Oscars in 1990.
Drake, what's come over you?
Then he starts choking him.
Drake, what are you doing?
You could say he's really going full throttle here. Back in the lab, this guy's ready for his Twitch stream. 3 monitors and keyboards. Fancy. The reason we can't have nice sets or special effects in this movie is because Bruno blew all the money on epaulettes and shoulder pads. Oh good, it's more exposition.
So what I want to establish now is exactly how all this began.
Movie's like, you're probably gonna want to sit down because this is gonna take a while. Look at his face. Jesus, shoulder pads and neckerchiefs. Someone in wardrobe really went nuts. Why does everyone look like they're an extra from Chips? Then this guy shows up.
Samuel Fuller from the Tubular Corporation.
Looks like he just wandered in from another movie. Where are your shoulder pads? Alright, let's get a move on. I'm due back on set to beat up Mark Singer. Look at this acting. Just next level stuff right here. Thespians at the top of their game.
Easy, Bond. Fuller here's an expert in martial arts. He served an 11-day war at Ankara.
Oh look, they're speaking in exposition again. Old Beat Punch Meat is a pro.
Our company invested millions of dollars constructing the underground viaduct that links us with Venice.
Then we jump over here. Bruce Leroy is looking great. You kids even remember Bruce Leroy? Christ, I'm old. Mattei's directorial guidance for this scene. Try to look intimidating and scream all your lines.
Kowalski! You better be careful, baby. That thing just might go off.
I feel like she's basically supposed to be Vasquez from Aliens.
Attention, please. All members of the Megaforce will proceed to Assembly Point H immediately.
Wait, Megaforce? Is Mattei actually trying to rip off a movie worse than the one he's making? That's meta. We head back to the control room. Is it just me, or does this kind of look like budget Vince McMahon? I mean, I never thought I'd say this, but Vince is the better actor.
Receive further instructions when you get to the shelter.
The crew heads underground, and I guess the film only had the budget for 2 helmets. Then Bruce Leroy offers up this observation.
Can't you smell that stink of shit?
Hey, come on, that's no way to talk about the movie before it's even finished filming. At any rate, I'm starting to get the feeling this could have just been called Nondescript Corridor, the movie. Alright, so this movie is just making shit up as it goes along. There's no way anyone actually wrote any of this.
Split up. Kowalski, Branzini, go that way. Foster, Kane, over there. Rest of you with me.
And just in case you weren't convinced Bruno was shamelessly ripping off Aliens yet, here's this. I think this prop is just a beeper they stole from an Outback steakhouse. At any rate, they're probably just tracking Show Nuff so they can rescue Vanity. They don't manage to find Vanity, but they do find these cocoons. Maybe Wilford Brimley is in one. This guy really wants to get out of Shock and Dark. I can't blame him.
Kill me. Please kill me.
Bruce Leroy's ready to lend a hand, but this is a prank and the choke's on her. While that's going on, some of our other red shirts are getting attacked by whatever this thing is. The rest of the squad flees, and it looks like they found the red light district of the underground tunnels. Rawr. Is she scanning the area with a micro cassette recorder?
Oh my god! There are lots of them!
We've got to find some way to keep them from following us.
How did Fragasso and Drudi not win an Oscar for this dialogue? I mean, they're just basically paraphrasing Aliens at this point. And the monster is closing in.
You're getting closer. They're nearly here.
Just in case you missed it the first time.
Oh my god, they're here!
And once more for the cheap seats.
They're here! They're here!
Then we're treated to a tale of 2 scenes. He's underacting and she's overacting.
There, now we're safe.
What's following us?
It almost balances out.
What the fuck did you think this was? A pleasure trip to Venice in a goddamn gondola?
Well, to be fair, the opening scenes kinda hinted that it might be that. Back above ground, budget Vince McMahon works the control room at WrestleMania 3. And here we watch as Ripley Light searches in vain for the script. Bruno's really padding the runtime with these endless walking through corridor scenes. Guess he couldn't find any footage from Aliens or Terminator to steal. Eventually, something does happen. They find Newt. Maybe we should just call her Salamander. Didn't they just run through the same corridor already? They eventually catch her, and man, I can't tell if Budget Newt is supposed to be a child or a 35-year-old woman.
She's Samantha Raffleson, Professor Raffleson's daughter.
How long will the sedative last?
Bruno, I think you forgot to turn Budget Ripley's mic on. Turns out they're in a laboratory where this guy is busy looking for the plot of this movie. Out in the tunnel, someone's left the fog machine on the stoner setting. Further in, they split up, and Jaretta finds herself in a live-action LeBlue girl as this tentacle grabs her. And we get one of my favorite things in the world, a mannequin falling to its death. Over at the lab, they're hacking this computer. Tubular Corporation. It's nice to see the Ninja Turtles moved out of the sewer and became successful entrepreneurs. And it's time for another masterclass in acting.
Incredible. Ingenious. What bastards.
I really admire his ability to not emote even once during this scene. Also, you will never convince me he's not reading these lines right off the monitor. This is a real bad acting showdown for the ages right here.
Us, we're the computer.
You mean this, whatever it is, can reprogram any form of life and transfer it into something completely different?
And I guess since we're ripping off Aliens and the Terminator, we might as well rip off the Thing too.
It's not alive until it finds something to live in. Something to reprogram on the basis of its own genetic program.
If all that exposition was too exciting for you, don't worry. We'll slow things down watching this computer load a file in real time. And don't look now, but I think these guys took a wrong turn in one of these corridors and wound up in Suspiria. I admire Bruno's ingenuity, at least. If we change the light color, no one will notice we keep walking down the same corridor. I'm brilliant. You may think I'm joking about the corridors, but they shot this film in a nuclear plant and an underground train station, so it all looks the same.
Dicevo, una persona che lavorava lì, che ancora alcune parti erano ancora funzionanti, è stato girato il film tutto lì, più lì dentro, più dentro, quindi era tutto vero. Le scenografie.
Eventually, they're cornered, but I will say it's nice this dude bedazzled his proximity monitor. Looks like something you make at summer camp.
Hey! 7 yards! 6!
But that's impossible! They'd already be here!
This really is a community dinner theater version of Aliens right here. If someone yells "Game over, man" or starts talking about bug hunts, I'm calling the cops. And here's your xenomorph. Looks like Admiral Akbar in a Japanese fetish video. Maybe they're being attacked by a pack of man-things. Did anyone else even read that comic? I also love that Bruno reuses the same 3 monsters getting shot sequences like 10 times here. Recycling. It's good for the planet. Back in the other studio, Budget Mr. McMahon is not happy. Ratings are down. Get The Rock and The Undertaker to the ring stat. I will say I love that Haven Tyler's acting style is just basically shout every line for dramatic impact.
Listen, if we want to get to the bottom of this, we have to get in there. The computer readout was very specific about that.
Then a power struggle breaks out.
And that's an order!
I don't have to take orders from you.
You're not the boss of me.
You come with us or I blow your head off. Take your pick.
Do I have a choice?
Well, yeah, he did just give you one. Come with them or he blows your head off. I mean, that's definitely a choice. In the elevator, we make this startling discovery. Is Fuller Bishop or the Terminator? I'm so confused. I don't want to alarm anyone, but a good 75% of Shocking Dark is just these dorks creeping through corridors and doorways. It's like an even more boring house establishing shot. Since nothing's happening anyway, we might as well stop for another bad acting showdown.
But you're still going to stay with me, aren't you?
Don't worry. I won't leave you alone for a minute.
Who's worse in this scene, Haven Tyler or this girl who's never spoken English? In the other room, Fuller basically has to look off screen for the cue card with his next line. Someone start counting. Ripley's got Newt in a sleeper hold. And with nothing better to do, we might as well rip off another scene from Aliens. Welcome to Slime Time, ladies. And Fuller is your budget Paul Reiser. Only got 3 paychecks for being 3 different characters. God damn, this dude literally has one expression. The monster has Sarah, but this guy's like, mind if I butt in? After an endless amount of creeping around, they wind up in the locker room. Who's ready for another bad acting showdown?
Everybody knows that the Tubular Corporation is nothing more than a big cover-up.
You haven't the proof to back that up. The Tubular Corporation was given the contract to reclaim Venice.
These two have less chemistry than a couple of English majors.
Thanks to the kind intercession of 2 of our major shareholders, Mr. Levine and Mr. Benson.
Normally, when a movie stops to watch an industrial film, I count that against it. But Shocking Dark is so boring, I'm gonna not only allow it here, but I'm gonna ask if we can just finish the movie this way. So, the point of all this boring exposition is that, who even cares? It's a real estate scam, basically.
The Tubular Corporation is the largest owner of the city's real estate, works of art, and museums.
Sarah's not happy about this.
You bastards! You were the ones who poisoned Venice!
No, not like that, Sarah. Like this. Bastard! The fact that Fuller's a cyborg still doesn't excuse his robotic acting.
This was just one of the many projects. We have the best scientists working for us.
You're a replicant.
Wait, now we're ripping off Blade Runner 2? Is there nothing Mattei and Fragasso won't crib from and ruin in the process? And apparently Fuller's also Michael Myers. I'm not sure what's worse here, the line Fragasso and Drudi wrote, or the way he reads it off the cue card.
Because I was waiting for exactly the right time. That is to say, now.
After some more pointless jibber-jabber, the ladies flee. And it's basically turned into Doom as she finds this conveniently placed shotgun and ammo in a locker. If you're wondering how there are 25 minutes left in this movie, trust me, you're not alone. I skipped the previous minute of recap because it was just some Mattei padding in which a guy crawled on some linoleum from one side of the room to the other. Eventually, they run into the Borinator, who gives us his signature line.
This is the end of the line.
Man, that sucked. I mean, this is an Italian Terminator ripoff. This was the perfect time for him to say, "Pasta la pizza, baby." Sarah's not happy with it either.
You bastard!
That's closer, Sarah, but more like this. Bastard! Bastard! And I take back my chemistry comment earlier. In this scene, they're electric. I'd say this was why the movie was called Shocking Dark, but it's pretty bright in here. And then the kid falls down this conveniently placed slide. Apparently the last act of the movie is just going to be these two screaming each other's names. Sarah! Sarah! Oh hey, remember the alien monsters? Yeah, they're still in this movie. And Sarah's busy with Mr. Roboto. She doesn't like it rough, but that doesn't mean this scene isn't gonna get a little steamy.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, she's gonna open this valve on his face. But hey, at least we get a second mannequin falling to his doom scene. That's a win. The crew heads in to stop the explosion, but Budget Admiral Akbar is here to tell them it's a trap. Sarah finds Samantha, but she's all wrapped up like leftovers for later. They escape the monsters, but the timer's about to hit 0.
3, 2, 1. The time is up.
And if you thought someone was going to spring back to life and shut down the self-destruct mechanism, no screenwriter's credit for you. But somehow, they still have 1 minute left. Can Sarah remember her password before time runs out? Damn it, I know it has a capital letter, a symbol, and a number. They get in, and Sarah shows us why she never won Mother of the Year.
We're gonna die. We're both gonna die.
Way to be comforting, Sarah. Except this is some kind of time machine they're in?
Oh, welcome aboard the tubular time pod. Today we will be traveling to the past.
Because sure, why not? Man, this time machine is going to jump right into the middle of Night Killer, isn't it? And then this place blows up like a controversial hot take on Twitter. Wait, they time travel back to Bruno's vacation videos in the start of the movie? Kill me now. But surprise, the Borinator made it back too. Well, I guess the upside here is we're running through new corridors. And dead end, but she's going to kill him with her Game Boy.
Now that's where you're wrong, Fuller!
Now who's playing with power, Fuller? And I'm glad to see we spared no expense on these special effects. Then we get some dialogue and credits.
We've got a lot of work to do before it's too late for everyone.
Shocking Dark is not a good film, even by Mattei and Fragasso's unusually low standards. I mean, the idea of ripping off Aliens and Terminator is pretty bold, but the unholy trinity just doesn't have the money, ideas, or cast to make this work. Shocking Dark isn't as fun as Mattei trash like Cruel Jaws or Hell of the Living Dead, and it's not as insane as Fragasso's Night Killer. But can it redeem itself by serving up a respectable amount of splatter? Let's go to the gore card! In terms of gross anatomy, Shocking Dark is a bit of a mixed bag. We're treated to multiple shotgun monsters, some mangled soldiers, and that's about it. For a Mattei film, this one pales in comparison to Hell of the Living Dead. Because of that, I can't give Shocking Dark anything more than a 1 barf bag rating. This isn't a sick or particularly good flick. Looking for more Mattei Fragasso madness? Then be sure to check out my review of Night Killer. You'll find a link here on the screen after my outtakes. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters. Well, that second recording went much better than the first, so there's that. The film was eventually retitled as Terminator 2 in some markets, although Fragasso and Drudi... The teleprompter is set on sprint today, apparently. The film was eventually retitled as Terminator 2 in some markets, although Fragasso and Drudi blame producer Franco Gaudenzi. The film was eventually retitled as Terminator 2 in some markets, although Fragasso and Drudi blame... Oh my god, why can I not say this? That's a lot of Italian names in one sentence. We're treated to multiple shotgun monsters. Fucking hell. Shocking Dark isn't as fun as Mattei trash like Cruel Jaws or Hell of the Living Dead, and it's not as... So close to the end, gonna fuck it up now.